The girlfriend had called the cops, who brought him to us. It was only during intake that we learned about the urine, and that was from the girlfriend, not Tony. Anton stutters, and the tits? Becky says they're from the pill. In clinical settings, we generally refer to them as breasts, but yes, the estrogen in his girlfriend's urine gave him those, probably the soft skin too. But the sneer, the attitude, the us versus them mindset, can't blame the hormones for that. Later, Anton sits with me and Tony in one of the tiny evaluation cubicles off the nurse's station. Plastic chairs, humming fluorescent lights, tiled walls, like an interrogation room from the TV cop show. You've been here a week, I say. Medication's working for you? Before me danced the notes scrawled by the shift nurses.
Yeah.
Patient-oriented ×3, exhibits signs of depression, but no suicidal ideation since intake. And my own note from a week ago, Calmotech, 50 milligram TID. Tony eyes me warily, glances over his shoulder to sneer at Anton, who sits, edgy, by the door. Tony's manner is both flirtatious and sullen, like Lauren Bacall in an old movie. Lauren Bacall mixed with James Dean. I'm in Happy Valley now. And you haven't tried to hurt yourself? He leans forward so his robe falls open, a satiny gray kimono with an embroidery dragon. His breasts dangle low in the gulf. The belt was confiscated at intake. He tosses his head. Can't say I haven't thought about it. Does that mean you have? Let's just say he settles back, legs crossed at the thigh. The possibility is on the table. He bounces his foot. If he wore a slipper, it would be dangling from his toe. I write his words verbatim and then say, I hear your urine drinking is under control. This bitch dogging me? An angry thumb jerks backwards. It's not like I have much choice. It's worse than having a broad around. Anton shifts his weight. I leaf through medical reports, blood work. All your tests came back negative, which suggests these secondary sexual characteristics, the changes in your body. They come from the hormones in your girlfriend's pills. You'll start seeing a reduction in symptoms soon if you haven't already. What if I don't want to? That's not in your control, I'm afraid. It's going to happen. I close his file and meet his eyes. And wait. Wait long enough. They always talk. They all want to tell their story. He blurts, don't you want to know why I do it? I don't say this out loud, but the answer to that, Tony, is not particularly. No doubt you have an explanation that makes sense to you, but my life is none the poorer without it. Instead of saying this, well, I shrug elaborately. There are a number of possibilities. Yeah, like what? Some patients like these conversations. Maybe they get the feeling they have some control if they know a bit of the jargon. So I trot some out. Well, there's something called behaviorism, which argues that people act according to what we learn. So maybe something good happened when you began doing this. He snorts. It's just a theory. Exactly. Or there's psychodynamics. You know what that is? Freud. Right. He'd look for some trauma in your early life, something to do with toileting or washing, buried in your subconscious. Nobody pays attention to Freud anymore, except feminists. I'll take your word for it. Of course, some people would argue that you're just a helpless victim of a great pharmacological industrial conspiracy, with me acting as the agent of your repression. That elicits a grin. Thomas Jage, he says, the myth of mental illness. You believe that? Not for a second. The grin vanishes. I've never met a doctor that did. So what do you believe? I believe in diagnosing symptoms and relieving them. It's true. All the analytical jargon is meaningless as far as I'm concerned. As long as the medication averts the symptoms, and I'll count urine drinking as a symptom, I'm happy to leave the mumbo-jumbo aside. So I tell him, quite honestly, I don't care what got you started. I only care that its consequences made your life so painful that you tried to end it. If those circumstances have changed, that's enough for me. Ostentatiously, I check my watch. We'll pick this up next time. Keep doing well and you'll be back in the world in no time. He sits stony-faced and silent. I prod him. How does that sound? I heard your husband killed himself. Just that sudden. The meanness of it catches me off guard, and it takes some moments to locate my stock answer. We're here to talk about you. Everybody on the ward knows it. They're saying he took a shotgun or something and blew himself away, along with a bunch of other people. Fucking bloodbath. That's an entertaining story to me. We never owned a gun in our lives. Why am I explaining myself to this person? See him out, Anton. Tony's voice insinuates itself in my ear. I guess the marriage wasn't ideal, hey doctor. Maybe he acted according to what he learned. Maybe something good happened when he did it. Anton! Or maybe there was trauma in his early life. Anton! The edge in my voice brings him to his feet, and he shepherds Tony through the door. It swings shut, and finally I'm left alone, breathing deep. It's always worse when it's unexpected. The routine dates, birthdays, anniversaries, Thanksgiving, those I can prepare for. As much as anyone can, which isn't much, but at least I know they're coming. But this sudden wrenching up from nowhere, the corpse, the neck at an impossible angle, the stink of shit soaking through clothes, it's like something jumping out from a dark closet. I can't chase away Tony's voice. Maybe he acted according to what he learned. I squeeze my eyes tight, right there in the evaluation room, and drive the memories down. Down and away and buried and gone. It's not easy, but I can do it. I have plenty of practice. Something I've gotten good at. Otherwise, it's constantly with me that night. Ready to rush up, swamp me like a tide, pull me down in its undertow of memory and futility. The night, the cold, the silence, the moon, the trees, motionless and naked. Black silhouettes rinsed to gray as I'm running outside, stumbling across the yard, shrieking against the terrible calm. Hysterical at what's out there, waiting for me in the ghastly silver light.